everybody. Welcome back. Yay. I'm at least 75% sure that I'm Matt today. I'm about 50% sure he's Chris.
I'm only 25% sure that I am Chris, but I'm pretty 75% sure he is Matt, though.
And we are your bearded brothers, and we are back here again with yet another sports podcast. Today, we are going to do our preseason full 1 to 32 NFL power rankings. Well, 32 to 1, but
Yeah. And then I imagine we'll probably do another one right before regular season starts. We'll
we
do
might right
one
after,
last one for the three.
right
to
after
do
the preseason to take into account any last minute trades and injuries.
Exactly. Yeah, that's
but
what I was
this gives
thinking.
us a starting point to at least maneuver teams around, and then we can readjust right before week 1 of the season. We'll probably do one last final one, and that way it'll be our set in for how we think the season's going to go. Yep. So that is coming up. So there are a few minor things to talk about, but nothing too major right now. We lost. Let me get the name.
Okay.
I am bad with names.
That's okay. I'm better with faces too.
Let's see here. Let me get his full name here. Vita Blue, the former AL MVP and a 3-time World Series champion in the 1970s with the Athletics, has passed away. He was 73. Also, Nick Gilbert, the son of the Cavaliers owner, has died at the age of 26 due to genetic disorder problems. Outside of that, I don't have a whole lot of other stuff. I mean, in boxing news, Canelo Alvarez retained his title. He actually knocked the guy down in the 5th round, and I thought it was over then, but the guy got back up, and they actually went the full length of the fight, and he won on a decision. So, yay. I mean, there really hasn't been much else in terms of news recently. Robert, well, we could talk about some things that we've missed because I've been meaning to talk about them and I keep forgetting. Robert Saleh, the head coach of the Jets, has said that Aaron Rodgers having a wish list is just media invented garbage.
Which I think that's what Aaron also said, so
yeah, they're probably on the same page. At least it shows they're on the same page with each other, which
I was gonna say it's probably not actually more of a wish list. It's probably the media spinning it as a wish list, but it probably was more like the Jets and him talking, and he just mentioned players that he liked playing with, and the Jets went, "Oh, okay, we'll just get those players then."
Yeah, because they did sign Randall Cobb. Yay for them. So that was pretty nice of them. So they do have Cobb on another year deal, so apparently Rodgers and Cobb will play together for another year.
Again.
Wasn't sure we were going to get that. They kind of walked off the field together in Green Bay, but you know what? More power.
Well, that was the last time they did it as Packers, at least. So I mean, they still the narrative still works.
They did it as Packers. Yep. 100% for that. Then I don't remember if we ever talked about it, but many months ago, probably a month, maybe a month and a half ago, before the draft, it came out that Tyreek Hill at the end of this current contract.
Yeah, I remember this. Yeah.
I remember you and I talked about it, but I don't know if we'd ever made a podcast. So Tyreek Hill has said that at the end of this current contract, he's going to walk away from the NFL and retire.
Which is 2025, right?
I believe so, yes. That still makes him pretty young, but he said that there's a lot he wants to get into business side of things, that he has a tremendous interest in the business side of things. Speaking of players who don't play in the NFL anymore and probably should have done better with their money, it's come out that apparently the former defensive end for both the Carolina Panthers and the Dallas Cowboys, Greg Hardy, is now working in a Walmart as a 9-to-5er.
You know?
Well,
use your money better.
there you go. We should also mention that Henry Ruggs III, has he pleaded guilty or no contest
I think it was
to
guilty.
vehicular manslaughter, stemming from the drunken driving speeding incident that took a woman's life. I believe he faces up to 10 years in prison.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. And as I told Chris, you know what? What a tremendous waste of talent. I mean, I'm very sad for the woman whose life got taken. I feel for her family. I just wish this kid had surrounded himself with better people that would have not let him do that. Tremendous talent, tremendously talented player, and then you go and you do something stupid like that. I mean, what? I feel like some of these kids get surrounded early by yes men and yes women and yes people and people that don't actually have the kids' best interests in mind. They view them as a piggy bank, as a way to make money. And
that's because quite often that's true, unfortunately.
it is, unfortunately, and that makes them make bad decisions. I feel like if anybody is watching this that has intentions of being an aspiring athlete, don't surround yourself with people that are going to tell you yes all the time. Find people that are going to tell you no. Find people that are going to hold you accountable. Find people that have your best interests in mind, not just the money. If they're only there for you because of what you can do for them, then they're not the kind of people you want around. Fair?
Yeah, makes sense to me.
Outside of that, there's not really a whole lot else news. Toronto's down 0-2 to the Panthers. Who saw that coming? Yeah. I mean, we didn't even see the Panthers beating the Bruins, so... However, you were correct. The Devils did beat the Rangers. So I lost both of those. I did not get neither New York team moved on. Damn it all.
No, unfortunately not.
However, it doesn't look like the Devils are going to move on either, because, quite frankly, they've been blown out 4-1 twice in a row now by Carolina.
Which, I mean, yeah.
I believe both the series in the West are tied at 1 game apiece. I believe the Kraken have beaten the Kraken have beaten Dallas once, and Dallas has beaten the Kraken once, and then the Oilers and Knights are tied at 1 apiece because the Oilers just won last night and slapped the schnoikies out of the Knights.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. So far, so good. Things are mostly kind of playing out the way we kind of thought they might.
Well, for you, yes. For me, no.
That's why I was like, except for my Bruins pick. That's going to haunt me for the rest of this entire bracket.
Your entire bracket.
Yeah.
No
matter how good the rest of my bracket is, like that one by itself ruined the entire thing.
Yeah, because you had them going all the way and winning the cup. If you hadn't had that, you probably would be okay.
Yeah, it's the one that I didn't want to lose. That's just horrible.
And you wanted them to lose, but you didn't want them to lose.
Yeah.
That
for the bracket, I needed them to stay in.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and do our countdown. I do have some blurbs about everything.
I didn't really have blurbs on mine, but I can probably come up with thoughts as I say them.
I can definitely come up. I definitely wrote down thoughts because I had time for it. So let's start at 32, and we'll work our way up. Do you want to start, or do you want me to start?
I mean, it's up to you. I'll let you decide. I don't really mind one way or the other. You want to flip a coin? Yeah, flip a coin. Ask Siri or Google to do it or something.
I will make this the best thing I can.
Ask your wife.
Call odds or evens?
Evens.
Shannon, roll me a dice.
1 second, please.
Impartial third party.
Impartial third party, huh?
Impartial third party.
An impartial third party.
So how are we rolling this?
Just roll. Let me know if it's odds or evens.
It's a 12.
That's evens. You called evens.
All right. Yep. Yeah, I got evens.
So
right,
you
I'll
get to go first.
Yep. All right. Well, at 32, I actually I had to think about this for a while because there were like I had like a couple teams that were kind of down in the similar dredges, and I had to decide which one I didn't like the most. um, so the one that I liked, I guess the one that I least liked is at 32, and that's going to be the Cardinals. I don't think they have done anything to impress me in the offseason. They have done nothing to impress me during the draft, and they didn't do really much during the season to impress me. And I feel like that's just going to continue. So, good luck, Cardinals.
At number 32, I have the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah,
Someone's got to be last. And with your QB maybe missing the start of the season and a multitude of holes, it's you.
Yeah.
Brand new coaching staff, brand new everything. Yeah, my dogs, this isn't your year. I don't even know if next year is your year.
Pretty much. Now I guess we're going to 31. I think this is where things are just going to go haywire for me, to be honest. Like pretty much here all the way up until like probably 15. I was just like, I don't know where to put certain teams.
There was I kind of had a better idea for the next couple, and then after that it would just went.
Yeah, I mean, I technically had like sections of 5 technically, where I was like, between these 5, these teams are going here. Between these 5, these teams are. But it was just more like, how do I want to separate that? And some of my 5, I had some that were like really close to each other, and yeah. Either way, 31. I can already imagine people are going to be really upset with what I picked here, so I don't think I'm going to please anyone. Frankly, I'm not happy with this choice either. I just didn't think there was a lot of other better choices here. So at 31, my 31st ranked team is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I just don't really have a lot of faith in QB. Like, don't get me wrong, I like Baker Mayfield, but if you look at the team that's around him, it doesn't really it's really improved from last year. And you have a downgrading QB. I hate to tell you, it is just a straight downgrading QB. So you have a similar team from last year with an improved draft, obviously. But again, those are drafted players, and they are going to be rookies. So that means they're probably not going to play very well the first year. So you have a lot of rookies, and you have some veteran talent that didn't look great last year with a worse QB. There's too many question marks, so I put them at 31st. I'm sorry, guys.
I can understand that. I have them higher on my board, and I'll explain my reasonings.
That's fine.
They're not a whole heck of a lot. Well, are they higher? In comparison? Whoa.
Do you have them way high?
No, I don't.
Okay.
They're only a couple of picks up higher.
Okay.
And I've got reasons for everything here. So, my 31st overall team, again, I'm not incredibly happy with this, but it makes sense to me, and somebody's going to be mad at me for it. Probably certain sports commentators, if they were to ever watch this. But at 31, I have the Indianapolis Colts. Look, this isn't your season. This upcoming is not your season. You do have a future, though. Congratulations. Yeah. You've got a future, provided you don't somehow screw up Richardson.
As long as he doesn't break and you don't break him, you'll be fine.
Pretty much. Don't break him, you'll be fine. This year, though, it's going to be ugly.
Probably.
Next year,
unless he has like a miracle offseason.
Like, I don't see it. I don't.
I don't either.
We could both be wrong, but I don't see it. So I'm going to go ahead and stick you down at 31 for right now.
Hey, we're going to redo these.
You've got you got a new coach. Is Saturday still the coach there? I don't even remember.
I don't even think he's on the coaching staff anymore. No.
I don't think so. But you guys got a new coach. You got new everything. Irsay's going to do what Irsay's going to do. I don't know what you guys are doing. I don't care anymore. I'm going to be honest. But you guys got Richardson. You've got some other talent. You did get some wide receiver talent. But you got rid of Stephon Gilmore, who's now on the Cowboys. And I don't... Your team is not good enough to compete this year. You are in the AFC South. You are the worst team. There you go.
Yeah, I guess I can understand that. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll move on to the 30th spot. At my 30th spot, I actually feel pretty good about this one, to be honest, because I think my reasonings make sense here.
Mm-hmm.
At 30, I do have the Tennessee Titans. Um, you have an aging quarterback. You have question marks at running back because they're still. Are you keeping Derrick Henry? Are you trading him? There's still question marks there. Is he even happy being there now that he knows that you might be trading him? Who knows if that's even what's the relationship there? Don't know. And you can't throw the ball to literally anybody. So I'm sorry to tell you, you might have a solution for your aging QB, but you have nothing else. This is just not a season for you. This is literally going to be a dud season. You're going to be looking forward to next season. Like, this is a nothing burger for you.
At number 30, I have a different team. Um, Number 30 is the Atlanta Falcons.
Really? I didn't think you
Yes.
would draft them that low.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, don't get me wrong. They're not that far higher on mine either. But
In a weak division, you are by far the weakest. Just barely. You just barely edged out Tampa in my book for that. Unless Ritter is your solution at QB, and I don't think so, you're in for a very long season. Enjoy watching Bijan Robinson. It's going to be the one bright spot you have.
yeah, I mean, I have them up more on my board, obviously. I think I'm probably just higher on the QB, which is probably why. I do like Ritter. From what I saw at the end of the season.
I have no trust yet.
Yeah. See, the last couple games I saw of him, it gave me a lot of hope. So, yeah. Difference of opinion. All right. I think if we're good, we can move on to 29.
Yep.
Okay, with the 29th spot, I actually have the Washington Commanders here. There's still question marks at QB. We still have no idea who you're playing at QB, to be honest. I believe that you haven't even announced it, so I'm pretty sure we're just doing a QB battle. It's probably going to be between Sam Howell and who's the other guy? They have Jacoby Brissett, right?
Yeah, Brissett.
So it's probably a QB battle, I imagine, between the two.
Probably.
So there's question marks still at QB. You do have some talent at wide receiver, so you'll still be, no matter who's throwing, you'll have some okay talent there with McLaurin, right? Gary Terry. So it'll be interesting to watch, and you have improved with the draft on defensive and offense, so it'll be interesting to watch, but I don't think this is the year. I think the talent will develop, and if Sam Howell ends up being good and a potential starter, maybe next year is going to be a better year. But I don't think there's going to be much coming this year. It's going to be more a lot of testing and theorizing of what's going to work and what's not going to work.
At 29, I have the Washington Commanders. My dudes, I don't think Howell is the answer at QB.
Probably
and
not.
even if your D blanks him, you still got to find a way to score. Every single team in your division got appreciably better, except you.
Yeah. And that's my problem too. Like, Sam Howell could be a good QB, but the odds are just,
Yeah,
I mean,
look,
he could be serviceable, but that's not good enough,
Every team
you know?
got better because I mean, even the Cowboys, while they didn't have an overly stellar draft, they filled a lot of their holes. They did get a better up front. Then they also had traded for the guy from Indianapolis, Gilmore.
Gilmore, yeah.
They're looking very improved. We'll get to what I think about the Cowboys later. But the Eagles got better in the draft and through trades, like much better. And they went to the Super Bowl last year. The Giants got better in the draft and through free agent signings and a couple of trades. Look, every single team in your division got appreciably better except you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's gonna be a really tough division, and you are unfortunately on the bottom of it and gonna get raffle stomped this year.
Probably. All right, going on to the 28th spot, I have the LA Rams. To be completely honest with you, there's still question marks at QB. Everyone's saying Stafford's ready to go, but I haven't seen him throw the ball. I don't know if he's ready. And even if he is it the same Stafford that we've seen before? I don't know. We don't know if that injury with how long he's been out has affected anything. We just don't know. So there's a lot of question marks there. There's question marks on that O-line. There's question marks on even just offense in general, especially when you're dealing with the injuries that they did. I mean, I'm just very concerned with the fact that They haven't gotten a lot of picks for a while because of the fact that they've thrown away their draft, so their draft hasn't been good. So they obviously didn't get anything good in this draft, or not that much. Like, there's just not much that they could have done in the offseason either. Frankly, to me, it feels like the Rams are basically hemorrhaging. They gave up everything to get the one Super Bowl, and now are just bleeding themselves to death. Um, and this is just them continuing that downward spiral, it feels like.
At 28, I have the Tennessee Titans. All right. You anchored your O-line. You have a succession plan at quarterback. Who are they throwing to? What are you doing with Henry? So, yeah, you're down here, buddies.
Yeah. Like, your defense might be good, might be able to stop them all day long, but if you can't score points, it ain't gonna matter.
I don't even know if their defense is that good.
They're okay. I don't know, but I don't think it'll be again,
I
they're
don't
good enough
think it'll
to stop
matter in the
some,
division
but
they're
not
in
enough.
anymore.
No, it won't matter, not enough.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to 27. So with 27, I have the Las Vegas Raiders. This one I didn't feel very good about. I could have swapped them around with a couple other teams, to be completely honest with you. But the main reason I put them here is, to be completely honest, I don't have any faith in Jimmy G. Like, completely none. The guy is not a bad QB, but my God, he literally feels like he's made of glass. Like, he's breaking himself constantly. He can barely move. You have an O-line that is questionable at times, and you're going to ask Jimmy G to move around? I don't think that's a good idea, guys.
So for me at 27, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You really need to hope that Baker is better than he's looked. You have no running game, so your entire offense is going to run through him. Good luck.
Good luck. Yeah, exactly.
Look,
All
you
right.
two,
Yeah.
you and Atlanta are going to fight it out for the bottom spot in that division.
Pretty much. I personally give the wave to the Falcons in there, but not by a significant margin.
I did the same. As you notice, I did the same thing. Falcons were 30, Buccaneers are 27. There's a 3-spot difference. You could swap them, and there's not that much of a difference.
Yeah, mine are a little higher up. My Falcons are still a little higher up, and that's again solely on the fact that I like their running backs and I like the QB.
All right. So 26.
26. All right, with 26, I actually put the Indianapolis Colts here, solely for the reason that, hey, if nothing else, I think they'll be entertaining to watch.
Fair. I have at least one team that's like that myself. Fair. Is that all for 26 for you?
That's all.
So at 26, I have the LA Rams.
Okay.
Oh boy. Ramsey's gone. Your D is starting to fall apart. There's so many questions and health concerns. This could be a very long season in what is a very tough division.
Mm-hmm.
You sold everything for one Super Bowl. You're going to suffer for a couple of years now for it.
Yep. All right. 25. At 25, I have the New England Patriots. Honestly, I have no comments here outside of you're just unremarkable. I didn't like your draft. I don't like your team. I don't like what you're building, and I don't understand what you're trying to do. Maybe you'll prove me wrong, but honestly, at this point in time, I just don't get it.
At 25, I have the Bears.
Fair.
The Bears.
That's fair.
Just as I thought you were making progress to get out of the North Cellar, you go and have the draft you had. Bears gonna bear.
Bears will bear. That is true.
I don't know what else to tell you guys. You got some good wide receivers finally. You know, if your quarterback, if he can take steps forward, great. I don't have any hopes for you. None.
Pretty much. All right, 24, right?
Yeah,
Moving on to
24.
24. All right, with the 24, I have the Saints.
Ooh.
I have the Saints at 24. Frankly, I just didn't know where else to really put them. Because I didn't think they were very remarkable last season. They have looked like they've improved, just on paper wise. Um, but I still have too many question marks to be able to really give them a higher nod. And so this is one of those few teams where I really want to see the preseason because I can't really give them a good grade because I just don't know on paper if it's gonna work.
I understand that. I rated them a little higher because I have more optimism.
That's fair.
However, at 24, I have the Denver Broncos.
Oh
You
wow.
can't possibly do worse than last season. Can you?
Probably not. Not with Sean Payton. I mean, come on.
Yes, but they got Hackett last season, who was the big, super highfalutin free agent head coach that everybody wanted.
Yeah, but it's not the same thing though. Like
I understand.
proven record versus unproven, right?
I totally get it, but
I'm just stating the odds dictate that it's likely going to be better than last season.
the
But
odds would dictate that. But that's why
it
you're at
is
24. You have to prove
it
me
is
wrong.
possible. All right. 23 then. At 23, I have the Atlanta Falcons. Like I said, I have them rated a little higher just because I have a little bit more trust in Ritter. The last couple games I watched him play, he looked like he had made vast improvements over those just couple games. So if he can make those big steps forward during the offseason, like I anticipate he definitely can, I think he could be one of the better QBs in that division. Definitely better, good enough to at least not get last place in that division.
At 23, I have the Cleveland Browns.
Okay.
You still have issues and holes. You're getting better. And with a full off season with the team, Watson should be better, provided he doesn't go to jail.
Which he probably won't.
I would guess not, but I don't know
At this
anymore.
point.
I don't,
At this point, he's probably not going to.
well, because there was another accuser.
Yeah, I know, but at this point, it's just so far too late. I just don't think it's going to
I
happen.
have no idea. The point is, provided that doesn't happen, he should be better. Let's
Should.
hope.
All right. So to 22. Look at that. At 22, I have the Chicago Bears. Very much for the same reasons that you've already addressed, which is, listen, I think you have a good QB. I think you do have good wide receivers, and your O line is better than it was before. But the draft still confused me because I feel like you could have gotten even better than you had gotten. Like you got better, you could have gotten even better. So it's like, it's one of those things where I put them up higher because okay, you're not as bad as you were before, but you're still kind of got that foot in the cellar, like you just can't get out of it. Like, like you feel like the cellar is part of your personality, and you have to keep it with you somehow.
At 22, I have the New England Patriots.
Okay.
Okay, you finally have an offensive coordinator to call the offensive plays.
Fair.
If Mac Jones can step forward instead of backwards, you'll be okay. But your division is super tough. Good luck.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like you need it.
They probably do. All right, 21. I have the Cleveland Browns here. Literally for all the same reasons you said. It's what two spot difference. I don't think I need to reiterate everything you said.
21. I have the Las Vegas Raiders.
Okay.
A lot is riding on Jimmy G. You got him a fantastic tight end, and you somewhat fixed your D. Let's hope that translates into being better than last year.
Yeah, see, I have less faith than you do on that one, apparently. All right, going to the 20th ranked spot, I have the Green Bay Packers. Too many question marks. I have no idea what Jordan Love's going to be. I couldn't properly rank this, so I had to go based on the fact that they were okay last year, and they've definitely gotten worse, with maybe some pickups here and there that are okay. Too many question marks. You're at 20.
At number 20, I have the Green Bay Packers. All aboard the Jordan Love train! Let's hope it doesn't derail.
Please derail.
Oh, I totally
Please.
wanted to, but Packers fans have to hope that it does not
Oh,
derail.
yeah. I mean, the real question is how far will it go before it derails?
There you go. Yeah, that's why you're at 20, guys. You got rid of Aaron Rodgers. You've got some new weapons for Jordan Love. You got a decent defensive pick, but, I mean, really, what do you do now?
Yeah. You just don't know what you got until you throw Jordan Love out there, to be honest with you.
And as Tom Grossi said, as the Detroit Lions, if Jordan Love is good, I will yeet myself into an actual lion exhibit.
Yep.
Moving on.
All right, going on to number 19. I actually have the Houston Texans here. I wanted to bring them up a little higher, to be honest with you, because I want to have a lot more faith in them. But the thing is, there's too many question marks. I want to see what they do in preseason before I really rank them up high. But their draft looked really good, and I was really impressed. So if those players end up being even just a fraction as good as what they should be, they might actually be climbing my boards fairly quick.
At 19, I have the Houston Texans. New coaching staff, new quarterback, new lots of stuff. You're not playoff bound this year, but you're moving in the right way.
Yeah. It won't take long.
No, I don't think so either.
Okay. At 18, I have the Denver Broncos. Can't really get much worse than last year, and you got Sean Payton. Congratulations. Maybe you won't be last in your division.
At 18, I have the New Orleans Saints. Carr in the house. If Thomas is back and Olave steps forward, you could maybe have a decent season. You might even contend for the NFC South title, just considering how horrible this division is.
True.
That's why they're ranked so high, is they could legitimately make the playoffs just because their division is garbage.
That's true. That's true. All right. At 17, I have the Carolina Panthers. To be completely honest with you, they're just like the Texans, except for I like their team now a little bit more than the Texans. On paper, I think the Panthers have just a little bit more going for them, but hey, that's just a personal opinion. But they're in an upward trajectory, and until I can see preseason to see how, Bryce Young actually plays, as of now, they'll just sit at my 17th spot, which I think is pretty reasonable.
At 17, I have the Miami Dolphins.
Okay.
Much rides on Tua and his health. Also, what the hell are you doing at running back? Signed,
True.
a concerned fan.
Fair enough.
I mean, I don't know what else to say about that. You didn't really get your offensive line better, and Tua took a fucking licking last year.
If the Dolphins are smart, they're gonna try to make a play for Cook this offseason. They would have to, right?
I mean, they drafted another running back. You re-signed both your other two. But if you're smart, yeah, you should be making that play for Cook and bringing him back to Florida where he's from.
Exactly.
The hometown returning hero, yeah, that makes too much sense.
Yeah.
Which is why it won't happen.
True. All right. So that was 17. So we're going to 16 now.
Mm-hmm.
At 16, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers. I actually am a big fan of Pickett to Pickens, and I think that they are continuing their upward trajectory. And frankly, the only reason they're not higher is because I have teams up higher that I just think are frankly just a little bit better. But they're right there on the outskirts. They're kind of, right on the outskirts of the top 10, So I think the Steelers are going to be a good team this year, and they might actually be contending for playoffs this year.
At 16, I have the Minnesota Vikings. I don't know what to expect. Captain Kirk or Captain Klutz? Lots of sacks and picks or lots of yards given up? Were you good or lucky last year? I don't know!
Fair enough.
So you're right in the middle. I have no idea what to do with you.
That makes sense. At 15, I have the Miami Dolphins. Just like you already talked about, a lot riding on Tua. Don't know what's going on running back. Team mostly looks good, though. Let's see what happens.
At 15, I have the Carolina Panthers. I think we flip-flopped those.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I have the Panthers. The best team in a weak division. Bryce Young is probably going to be Rookie of the Year. You probably make the playoffs by virtue of winning your division and are a one and done. But you're moving in the right direction. Good job.
Sounds about right to me.
Yep.
All right. 14, I have the New York Giants. Made playoffs last year. Kind of a surprise. Didn't expect it. Daniel Jones was looking good towards the end of the season. You did really good in the draft. Brian Dable looking like one of the best coaches right now out of nowhere. Hey, if you got that momentum, you might be even shooting up my board faster than 14. But this is just where you're starting at, and that's a pretty damn good start.
At 14, I have the Los Angeles Chargers. I'd rate you higher, but you still have to figure out what you're doing at running back with Eckler, and then you have to prove you're not going to Charger that up.
True.
That's literally what I said here. I have no idea what to expect with you. I don't know if Brandon Staley is going to be good for this team or if you're going to fire him mid-season.
True.
That's why you're here. Prove to me what you are, and we'll see.
Fair enough. All right. So, going to 13, I have the Dallas Cowboys here. Still a good team, still very solid. There's still, you did have a decent draft. Not my favorite draft, but a decent draft. I would say above average draft. And, I feel like you still have enough talent there to continue contending and still continuing to look good. No, Cowboys fans, this is not your year. You're not going to win the Super Bowl this year. Stop it. But you will still look good. You'll compete for your division for certainly. Hey, I said compete. I didn't say win. They're not going to beat the Eagles. But they'll contend, they'll stay in there, and they'll likely make playoffs again. Now, beyond that, don't know.
At 13, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers. Sneakily may be the most improved team in your division. It's just too bad that division includes Baltimore and Cincinnati.
True.
Like, you've gotten much better. You're not competing with them, guys. I'm sorry.
Oh, not quite yet.
Not quite yet. But the chances of your chances have gone way up. I like Pickett to Pickens as well. I think that's going to be a phenomenal thing for you. I like the new tight end you got. I like some of the outside linebacking help you've got. I like pretty much everything you've done. It's just now the biggest issue is that you have to compete against both Cincinnati and Baltimore. So you have to hope that either Lamar isn't as good as he is, or that Cincinnati completely falls apart. Neither of those look like they're going to happen. So,
agreed. All right.
Doesn't mean you couldn't sneak into the playoffs as a wild card, though.
That's true. All right, let's go on to number 12. At 12, I have the Seattle Seahawks. Frankly, you have a very solid team. You continue to improve upon that team. However, just like, previous year, I think you'll probably make playoffs. You'll look okay. But I hate to tell you, I like Geno. I just don't think he's going to be the guy that's ever going to get you to that Super Bowl. I just don't think it is. And that's fine, and I think even you guys have realized that. But for now, you're just building the team until you can get QB that you really, really want. But if you do that, I think you'll be very good.
At number 12, I have the Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, okay.
Great draft, good additions. If Geno repeats what he did last year, you should be back in the playoffs at least, and competing for a division title at most.
Yeah, I agree with that. Oh, alrighty then. Going on to number 11. I have just out of the top 10, the New York Jets. At And I'm only doing this because I haven't gotten a chance to see Aaron Rodgers connect with his wide receivers. So I have no idea the communication. I don't know how well they will work together or communicate together. However, with that being said, when you have some of the best defensive talent and even some of the best offensive talent in the league, it's hard not to put you right near the top right from the start. So let's see how this goes. That way.
Mm-hmm. At number 11, I have the New York Jets. Okay, you got Rodgers. He has receivers. He has a line. Brees Hall is coming back. Your defense is improved. Look, you're probably not going to make the Super Bowl, but you'll at least contend with Buffalo for a division title and should easily make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. All right. Now, at number 10, just making my top 10. And only because I had to, because it is who I am. I have the Minnesota Vikings at 10. I had to put them in my top 10 to start. Frankly, I did actually like their draft, and I am curious to see what they're going to do. And I think that this is a team that can perform, but I do have still a lot of question marks when it does come to Kirk Cousins. And when it comes to this team slipping out of the top 10, it's probably going to come down to can Kirk play or not. You have some of the best wide receiving talent that you could possibly have in the league right now. You have no excuses at this point. If you can't make it work, then get the fuck out.
I don't disagree with that. I think you have them a little high, but that's just me.
Oh, I acknowledged it. Like I said, I know that they're a little higher than I should have put them.
At number 10, I have the New York Giants.
That's right.
And the rating is really contingent on Daniel Jones having a full season that looked like the last several games of last season.
Exactly.
You improved your D. You have a plethora of pass catchers for him. If he repeats what he looked like at the end of the season and you solve the Barkley contract, this is going to be a primo season for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if that doesn't happen, oof, that contract's going to look horrible.
That contract will look kind of bad.
Yep.
All right. Moving on to number 9. Number 9.
Number 9.
So number 9 on my board, I have the Detroit Lions. And the only reason I don't have them any higher is just simply due to the fact that there's so many better teams. I love the Lions. I love their draft. They're going to be a fun team to watch. I think they're going to make playoffs this year. I think they'll look good, but I just don't think that they have enough to move past the playoffs. I think they'll probably be a one and done. Maybe they'll win their first playoff game if it's like a wild card game, but I don't see them making it very far. Based upon the other talent that's in the NFC right now, but they're very close. They're probably only like maybe one other good draft away, maybe even just a QB. I like Jared Goff, but if you got a better QB in there, that might do it.
At number 9, I have the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay.
Good job on figuring out the Lamar thing. You did pretty good at the draft, and if Lamar stays healthy, you're going to contend for a division title. But that's the if.
That's fair.
He's been injured a lot. So
that's fair.
You guys really have to hope that he stays healthy. You got OBJ now. You've definitely got some better defensive talent. Again, you have to hope the injury bug does not bite your team. If it doesn't, you're going to contend for a division title.
Fair enough. All right, going to 8. I have the LA Chargers at 8, and it's I frankly have a lot of faith in this team, probably more than I should. I really like their team. I love Justin Herbert so much. I love watching him play. I do have questions about their coach. I think he makes a lot of questionable decisions at times, which is very concerning. I do have questions at running back, but even if they lose Eckler, I think they'll be okay. They might actually be one of those teams that could be on the play for Cook if they end up moving Eckler, or even if they end up wanting to do a swap. That might not actually be that bad. To be completely honest, I would not hate having Eckler. It would be a downgrade. Obviously, we would not get a draft pick as well with it. But I'm just saying, like, if that's the direction that ended up going, I wouldn't be mad about it. So I think the Chargers, overall are still a really good team. They still got good wide receivers. Their defense is okay. If they can it's one of those things that I think even happened last year, is that on paper, they have a good team. They just need to come together and make it work. Is this the year that's going to happen? I hope so, and I'm rating it like they would. But if it doesn't work, man, it's going to look real bad again for the coach.
So I'm anticipating that to happen, which is why they're much lower on my rankings. At number 8, I have the Detroit Lions.
Okay.
Best team in the North, great draft, filled holes, got a future at QB. For the first time in forever, y'all have a reason to be excited about something.
Well, hopefully.
Yeah, provided you don't line this up. Because
As
you
long
guys
as
do
you
have
don't
a history
fuck it
that,
up, yeah.
boy, your coach should
So far,
make sure your
yeah.
coach should make sure that doesn't happen. Dan Campbell is not fucking
Yeah.
around.
Apparently, somehow he's been gotten that group of people together. I don't know how, but he's
I
gotten
don't
it
know
to
how
work.
either, but you know what? I am not going to question it that he has
Nope.
been amazing.
Yep.
All right, number 7.
All right. Number 7. I have the Baltimore Ravens at 7. Just kind of like what you said, to be honest. You figure out the Lamar contract, which is good. You got him some people to throw and catch the ball. Well, you got him to throw and people to catch the ball. That's a weird sentence, isn't it? Anyways, you got people to catch the ball. I mean, and you got a good defense. I mean, as long as Lamar stays healthy, 7 spot makes sense. If he doesn't stay healthy, it's gonna look real bad.
At 7, I have the Dallas Cowboys. The window is closing, but it's not closed quite yet.
Yeah.
You did upgrade your defense by getting Gilmore. You plugged up the middle on D with Mozzie Smith. However, you do have to reach up to catch the Eagles, and you have to watch your backside as the Giants are nipping right at your heels. This is going to be a tightly contested division amongst the top 3 teams, and if you slip up even a little bit, you're going to get stomped out. Sorry, it's the way it is. Right now, you're where you are. Could you slip? Quite a bit, yeah.
Alrighty then. Moving on to 6. At number 6,
6!
I have the San Francisco 49ers. Honestly, I did have questions on if I should put them higher, but I think I still have too many questions on those injured quarterbacks before I can really bring them up any higher. When you have the injuries that they dealt with throughout their entire last season, it's a lot of question marks. However, with how good your team was even dealing with all of those injuries, that's why you're at a 6. Honestly, if you didn't have any injuries, you could be sitting at a number 1, number 2 easy. Well, number 3, so somewhere in the top 3, I would say. But I just honestly, because of the injuries, I just couldn't bring any higher.
At number 6, I also have the San Francisco 49ers. Hopefully, Purdy or Lance are ready to go to start the season. It sounds like one or both could potentially be ready to rumble. As for the rest, man, you're still one of the best teams in the West, especially on defense. You got a new coordinator coming in, but that defense has had 3 coordinators in the past 3 years and hasn't missed a fucking beat.
All right. Number 5.
Top 5.
All right. So, at number 5, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars. Your draft didn't super impress me, but your last year looked good, and if Trevor Lawrence continues to improve and the rest of the team continues to evolve, I think this is going to be a very dangerous team, and I think this is going to be a very, very dangerous team in playoffs because people are probably going to think that they're just the same old Jags, but they're not. Yeah, they're not the same old Jags. This is a team I would be very scared to play against right now.
At number 5, I have the Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
Your defense is a year older. You suffered some injuries last year. You got another pair of hands on offense, but your running game is still Josh Allen.
That's fair.
I don't like that.
That's fair.
You're 5th because you're still good. And he's got great wide receivers, and Josh Allen is very talented. But if you try to make him do everything he did last year and you don't get him a running back, you're going to have the same results. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. That's exactly where you're at right now, Buffalo.
No, I tend to agree with that. All right, move on to number 4.
Number 4.
Number 4. I,
4.
I got the Buffalo Bills at 4. Pretty much for the same exact reasons you talked about. I just have them just a little bit ranked higher than the Jags, but it's for the exact same reasons. You're still an incredible team. But you still got questions at running back. Do you want Josh Allen running all the time? Probably not, because eventually he's going to take a bad hit, and when that happens, you're going to really wish that it would have been a running back instead of Josh Allen that took that hit. So, frankly, you should figure that out sooner than later.
Hint, hint. At number 4, I have the boys from Duval.
So we just swapped picks.
Jacksonville Jaguars. Yeah, we did. And I figured the top 5 I figure are going to be the same teams, just maneuvered a little differently.
Yeah.
You surprised people last season. Ridley's back. You won't surprise anybody this year. But you shouldn't have to.
All right. Going on to number 3.
Number 3.
Number 3. I have the Cincinnati Bengals at number 3. I almost put them at 2 instead. Ultimately decided not to. I put them at 3. I still have some questions with their running back. That is a bit concerning still for me. But you do have an improved team. You had a pretty decent draft. Frankly, I think that this is a team that just only improved from last year, and they were scary yet last year. They're just going to continue being scary.
At number 3, I have the Cincinnati Bengals. You upgraded your lines, both offense and defense. Let's hope it's enough. Tough conference. Chiefs are still above you right now, but this could be your year.
Could be.
Could be.
All right, at
number
2. Number 2, I have the Kansas City Chiefs at number 2. And I have them at number 2 because they should not have won that Super Bowl. Fuck you, Chiefs. You're at number 2. I don't feel bad about it.
At number 2, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's be honest. As long as Mahomes is healthy, you always have a chance. Don't slip. The rest of the conference is hungry and waiting to pounce on your corpse.
Oh yeah. If you give them an opportunity, they will eat you.
They will eat you.
All right, and I think that leaves us.
I think that tells us both who our number 1 pick is.
Yep.
Both of us have the Philadelphia
Eagles.
Fly, Eagles, fly. You want to give your reasons first? I'm sure they're all the same.
Okay, you should have won last year. You didn't, and you got scary better.
Jalen Carter and everything else. Yeah, no, you're scary better. Much scary better. You're so improved. Like, as long as you don't lose Jalen Hurts. Yeah, you're going to win this year.
I honestly don't even understand how, during the draft, they let you get away with what you got away with.
I don't get it either. How the hell
I don't know how you could
get
possibly
Jalen Carter
do that.
And Nolan Smith.
Right? I just don't get it.
I don't get it.
Anyways, yeah. So, Eagles probably, like, honestly, if this isn't your year, the only reason it's going to come down to injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Like, on paper, you guys should easily take this all the way to the Super Bowl. Like,
there's not even a. I don't even think there's a team close to being able to top you guys.
No. The only teams that can even contend with you are the other top 3 teams that we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
But,
and maybe
and
the
even
Bills.
then, maybe on a good day. So, but and even like I don't even think the Jags could even on a good day, to be honest. Like maybe if the Eagles were injured, but that's the only way that happens.
I agree. Eagles might end up breaking the Dolphins' record this year.
Mm-hmm. We'll see. All right.
All right. So now you have our picks for how we think this is going to play out. We'll do another round right before the season starts, right after preseason and everything, because by then any injuries will have happened. We'll be able to assess for that. Other trades will have probably happened, and we'll be able to
Any
assess
last
for
minute trades,
that.
yeah.
So there's still going to be room for movement. And as we watch the preseason games and get a feel for how some of the rookies play, we'll be able to better adjust our rankings and also get a feel for how some of the other players who are on new teams now,
And how they're going to play with each other.
Garoppolo, Rodgers,
Yeah.
and Watson even, how they connect and feel with their receivers. And as we get a better idea of how C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young and Richardson are all going to feel, we can readjust our boards a little bit.
Exactly.
For right now, though, I think that's kind of where we land on all of this. I wasn't too surprised. Our top 5 were virtually the same. Just we flipped 4 and 5, and then our top 3 were identical.
Pretty much everything past like the top probably 20 was actually relatively close.
Yeah,
to each other.
We had a couple of oddball ones, but
yeah. But I would say
I'm
majority
clearly higher
were
on
within
the
a couple.
Giants and the Cowboys than you are.
Oh yeah, way higher up on the Cowboys and Giants than I
You're
am.
way higher up on the Vikings than I am.
I admit that I have dragged them up. They would have probably been.
You're also way more trusting in Brandon Staley and the Chargers than I am.
I just like the Chargers, man. I don't know why. If I was being honest with the Vikings, I probably would have put them at like 13 or something like that. If I was being more honest with myself.
That's right around where I have them. I have them at 16, so that's fairly close.
That's what I'm saying. If I was being honest with myself, but
I do want to talk Vikings corner real quick,
okay.
because I watched some tape of our rookie quarterback.
Oh, nice. So you got to watch some. I didn't get to watch much, so I'm curious to see what you saw.
Great arm, high football IQ, decent mobility, kind of quick. That's not what impressed me, though. I actually watched one of his media day tapes.
See, this is what I was saying. This is what I've been hearing from a lot of people, is that he's really good at talking.
He oozes charisma. Like, every answer was spot on. He had reporters eating out of the palm of his hand and laughing with him. He's naturally charismatic. And I am already given to like him. And he hasn't spoken in Minnesota yet. He hasn't touched
which
the
I'm surprised by.
He
I'm surprised he hasn't spoken yet.
For us, but he's a naturally decent-looking human being. And he's funny. He's laid back and easy. Like, you feel like you could talk to him for hours about anything. And I think that's a good thing. I think we can use that in our locker room.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, if nothing else, like, if he ends up not actually ending up being the starter, long-term, for whatever reason, I think if nothing else, he's going to be a great backup and definitely a very good locker room guy, for sure.
I agree. I like him a lot. I actually think he's going to do really, really well.
Yeah.
I am very impressed with what I have seen of him so far. So,
yeah, no, exactly. He looks far better than I would have expected.
Yeah, the highlights I've watched, he makes some throws that I question, but he's made them. His receivers have gotten them. He's got a really strong arm.
He does. It's a cannon.
I watched him throw some balls, just go, whoa.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got literally a cannon of an arm. Yeah.
Yes. He's also decent on the touch. If he needs to throw a short touch, quick touch pass, he's got good release, decent mechanics, and he can run just a little bit.
Yeah.
He's
just enough to basically.
Speedy.
No, it's just enough to get out of the pocket and try to extend the play for a little bit.
Exactly. And he's also done a couple of quick quarterback sneaks, or a couple of quick little quarterback runs for touchdowns in like third and short situations.
Yeah.
Like 3-yard little bursts and stuff.
Yeah, which you kind of expect.
Yeah, no, like I'm fairly impressed with him. Overall, what I saw, I liked. I think he could be another Mahomes-esque style player.
I mean, that would be a lot to promise for. I don't think we're going to get that.
I'm talking in terms of...
Yeah.
Remember, Mahomes wasn't a first... I don't think he was a first... Was he a first-round pick?
No, I think he was...
Second?
He was either a second or third.
Yeah. They didn't grab him right away.
No.
That's kind of how I view Hall, as a guy who is a later-round pick who impresses after...
He'd probably be he'd probably be more in the vein of Russell Wilson when it comes to that, because Russell
Yeah.
Wilson was picked in the 5th round, I
But
think, if I
he's
remember right.
also bigger than Russell Wilson. Dak Prescott.
Not by a lot
maybe,
though. Because yeah, I mean, isn't he only like 6 foot or 6'1" or something like that? Like he's not super tall.
Hold on. I'm curious.
Because if I remember right, that was one of the knocks against him is that he is shorter than other QBs, and so he has a harder time looking over his linemen sometimes. And so he talked about how he has to see the gaps between the linemen, and he has to know when the gaps are.
6'1".
Yeah. Okay. So because he has talked about that before, where he's
Mhm.
just a little short of the lineman at times.
He's 6'1". Russell Wilson is.
Yeah, he's like 5'11", so I know that he's taller than Russell, but not. I mean, 2 inches isn't significant. Or unless Russell's 5'10". I thought he was 5'11", but he might be 5'10".
I think we actually looked this up, and I think Wilson is 5'8" and 3/4.
I thought he was taller than that. I always keep forgetting how short he actually is.
He's really short.
I thought that was Murray, because I know Murray's really
no,
short.
he's supposedly 5'11".
Okay, so he is supposedly 5'11" then. Because I know Lamar and Murray are shorter. Okay, so I mean 6'1", we're talking 2 inches. No, that sounds about right then. I consider they're both kind of in that same bracket where they're both considered.
Kyler Murray
not...
is 5'10".
Yeah, that's what I figured. He was shorter.
They're an inch shorter.
Yeah.
And I remember Bryce Young is about the same size as Kyler Murray.
Yeah, he is. He's considered about the same. So he's not short, but he is still considered slightly too short to like see over the lineman. So that was considered a knock against them on the draft, which is, I think, ridiculous because it's like, okay, if you're gonna do that, then Bryce Young should also got the same knock. But but he's so good at it though. Okay, whatever. But I do understand the idea of like, okay, you can't see over the lineman, so you do have to anticipate the gaps, which means you do have to think more about it, which means you have to be very IQ or have a very high football IQ to know where your team's, which he has. So I don't think it's an issue, but the reason why he got taken in the later rounds is because apparently, I guess the combination of didn't play for a super famous school, didn't get a lot of nationalized TV, I don't think, as far as I'm aware of, I don't think they even did they ever get into the championship playoffs, the college playoffs? I didn't think so, right? Yeah, so they never even got to the playoffs. So you combine all those factors, it's not surprising that a lot of people didn't really look at him much.
Sadly,
So he could be very well a great talent that we might got a really big steal for, or he might just be okay.
We'll see.
Just won't know. Yeah, I'm hopeful because he seems like he has all the traits and all of the right mentality for it, and he's got the right athleticism even in a lot of ways for it. So I have high hopes.
I do too.
And frankly, the way that they scouted him, I mean, I'm surprised, but it makes sense because if you're going to replace a Kirk Cousins, well, Kirk Cousins happens to have a really good deep ball. So if you're going to replace a cannon arm guy with another cannon arm guy that just happens to have more mobility, it makes sense.
I agree. 100%.
You had the same thing. You're just replacing him with just a younger version of himself, basically.
I cannot disagree with that. I do want to bring up, outside of this now, another little story that I forgot. Tyler Lewan is suing Dr. James Andrews.
I feel like I heard about this.
You might have. So Lewan tore something in his knee, and he had to have surgery. And we all know that, for those that don't know, Dr. James Andrews is one of the premier reconstructive surgeons for joints. He's done a lot of Tommy John surgery on baseball players, and he's done a lot with knees and et cetera, et cetera. I think he's even the guy, I want to say, he's the guy that helped fix Triple H's quad when it exploded in that match.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Wouldn't surprise me either. I think that was the same guy.
Yeah.
Now, Lewan is stating something along the lines of they didn't use the right density graft and something, and he was never the same player after the surgery, and his knee has constantly caused him problems since then, and so he's alleging that Andrews Not that Andrews was wrong, but that he didn't supervise his interns and his other doctors correctly. And they did the surgery. And thus, because they are under his license, it's his fault.
Which, I mean, if true, yes, he's right. But again, we'd have to know. We'd have to look at the files and the casings to really know how much of it
and
he's
we're
actually
not
got to
gonna see
stand.
that for a while. So, my guess is it'll settle out of court. Things like
Probably.
that usually do. His malpractice insurance will pay it.
Probably.
And Luan will get some sort of cut deal that'll make up for him not having a team this year and not being as good since the thing. He'll get some sort of lump sum deal, and he'll go away. I'm not trying to say anything bad about Taylor Luan. From what I've heard, he's a stand-up individual. He's he was a great part of the Titans organization. I really wish he could keep playing football, but it sounds like he's not going to be able to. I hope he takes the money and does something intelligent with it. I'm sure he will.
I would hope so.
Yeah, I would hope so as well. I hope that his knee doesn't continue to cause him too much trouble, but, there it is. It is what it is. Outside of that, don't have too much else to say. Joel Embiid won MVP for the NBA.
Okay.
That's about where I'm at, too.
It sounds like they just decided to do that because they didn't want to give it to LeBron.
Who was it? I believe it was the Rangers fired Gerard Gallant, the head coach.
I feel like I heard about that. Yeah, I think I heard about that.
They fired their head coach after they got bounced in the first round of the playoffs, because you don't go out and you spend all that capital to get bounced in the first round.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I can't say that it's not fair. That's fair. So he's gone. I have no idea what the Rangers are going to do now. I don't know what Patrick Kane is going to do. I don't know if he's going to try to re-sign with the Rangers. I just don't know. Going to be an interesting hockey offseason coming up. I'm interested to see who gets the number 1 overall pick, of course, with their lottery. And the awards, the people being able to be voted on for the awards have been announced. I don't remember, not all of them, but most of them at least.
Okay.
I know Cale Makar is up for the best defenseman award. I know, there's a lot of those that are out now, but we don't have all of them. But when they do the awards, we will definitely cover it here on the channel. We'll talk about it because I do hockey. I love hockey. So we will definitely cover it when it happens. It's just a matter of time until it does. Now, next week, I don't know what we're going to do. I'm still trying to get in touch with my friend again and see when we can get him on the show. I do want to do that in the future, but we'll figure that out as it goes. Maybe we'll have some hockey stuff to talk about. We'll figure it out. We may have another week where there wasn't enough to happen. We'll just skip it and move on to another week,
We'll see.
We'll try to figure that out. But as the stuff progresses and as the NFL season gets into swing, we'll definitely have a lot more shows to do for you guys. Now, I will also say that before this show went up today, we're recording today. That doesn't help anybody. I don't care. I did put up this morning a trade dissection. So if y'all want to go take a look at that, it's on our main channel right now. I did throw up another one. I think you guys would find it interesting because one of the players that came out of that is a dude who has only played 3 seasons, and yet he's wound up 5th in MVP voting, and he's won an Offensive Player of the Year award. So it's a pretty good trade. Anyway, we'll let you discuss that later. In the meantime, I don't have anything else. Do you have anything else?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't either. So what we'll say, go ahead. If you like what we do here, give us a like, smash the thumbs up, smash the subscribe button, share us around with your friends, get us out there, help the channel grow. And we will see you next time. Stay beautiful.